So thank you, Oscar and Bella, for a fantastic presentation about usability of generative AI. So now we're jumping to another area we can utilize this fantastic technology. We're talking about the quality assurance and software testing. And it's Nahuel Franchi from Globant. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Well, my name is Nahuel Franchi. I'm an executive director at Globant. I'm the general manager for one of our product divisions called MagnifAI. And before I tell you a little bit more about generative AI and testing and so on, I thought I'd start with a little bit of a personal anecdote, which you'll realize that technology is innately humane, right? When I was about, I want to say like 10 years old, something like that, I was like not in high school, but I was almost there. Back then, I was somewhat technologically savvy. My father worked at Microsoft, and he taught me how to code in Visual Basic, so I kind of knew my grounds. But it was funny that every time that I speak about AR, VR, artificial intelligence, I always come back to the same memory. I was in about like 6th grade, and I was thinking that I was not really paying attention at school, and I was, really thinking of somewhat of a hologram. Somewhat of a rectangle where I can chat with my friends, where I can interact, and that the teacher wouldn't notice, right? So you can think of, this is very pre-iPhone, almost pre-internet days, and by the way, also pre-ChatGPT. So I had no syntaxis of, saying that this was augmented reality or anything like that. So, but I was a kid, I kind of knew technology, and I said, okay, it would be cool to chat with my friends and so on. So. I don't know how to play this, sorry. So with that, actually that's, when I think about it from my career point of view, that was somewhat of an inception moment. I studied psychology, so anything that relates to human performance is a passion. And at Globant, our purpose and our mission is really connecting what really makes us humanly and innately creative with artificial intelligence to meet the demands of customers at scale. Now, there's a lot of research, but the problem in terms of software quality assurance is not really technology. It's all of us as consumers that I have a lot of apps in my iPhone that I don't even delete in my phone, right? So whenever an experience is not a digitally pleasing one, all of the Spotifys of the world, the Netflix of the world, kind of already spoil it for us. And we feel that the digital experience is really the new currency for engagement, right? In a year, what I want to try to answer here and provide you concrete tools and use cases is, what is really the answer that in a year in the US, I live in Seattle and Washington, by the way, and this is in the US, a lot of CFOs are talking that this is a recessive year, that there's no budget and so on. And in the same year, the Apple launches a product, Vision Pro, that is 4x the cost of an iPad, and they're disrupting of a new market, right? And what's really the answer in order to generate more revenue and drive more consumers that are able to drive this Disney-like magical experience? We believe that the answer is quality. Now, in the era of the ChatGPTs of the world, the OpenAIs of the world, where there's also a lot of concerns in terms of is technology going to replace us? One of the things that I want for you to think about is this Nahuel, little Nahuel. So for the sake of the anecdote, I want for you to remember the little Nahuels, because I want to share with you some provoking thoughts. In reality, what we feel is that artificial intelligence is really here to remove all of these accidental complexities that happen with technology, all of these things that really shouldn't even be there, and empowering creators. And specifically in the quality engineering field, we feel that the use of AI, and in an era with more and more tools for creators, we feel that artificial intelligence is something that is required in the quality engineering field in order to make all of these pleasant experiences, these Disney-like experiences, a reality. Now, I want to kind of answer why now, and provide a little bit of a context, because artificial intelligence, the software testing field, as a matter of fact, in Globant, we organize ourselves into studios, which are centers of excellence. And the quality engineering field is the studio that has been there for the longest, right? So, if you look at the 50s, a lot of you may think of, AlphaGo and all of these Netflix shows where artificial intelligence was something that was made for competing with Kasparov, with the greatest chess players. Now, fast forward, artificial intelligence has been evolving into more concrete, at least everyday life use cases like robotics, and then, problem-solving computing things that we see in everyday computers that we use nowadays. But then in the 90s and in the 2000s, IBM actually defeated Garry Kasparov, right? And it was a milestone of, okay, is the machine more intelligent than us? Nowadays, I don't know, unless you've been probably without your cell phones for a couple of months, probably you know already of ChatGPT, of OpenAI, and many of us, we use Spotify, Google Maps, and all of these products leverage artificial intelligence in a reality, right? Now, in our opinion, and based on our experience in technology, the factors and the things that enable that this is ready, not as a toy, there's a lot of hype around AI, but all of you that are maybe creators, technologists, or business owners, in reality, we as companies have a responsibility for the enterprise. We cannot play with tools. We cannot take risks. My bank cannot kind of assume how much money I have in my bank account. So there needs to be some certain digital certainty, right? So on one, computing power, it's less and less expensive these days. On another one, data. And in the 2000s and in the 90s, we've been talking about data and how much, the accessibility of data. But also, the Microsofts of the world, the Amazons of the world, the Google of the world, they have thrown a lot of money. So what has changed in 2023 in terms of quality engineering is that now the funding is there. The machine learning algorithms and all of the backbone of engineering is already there and available for use. One of the things, especially if you don't come from a technology background, what I want for you to understand so you can have a better idea on where do I want to play. You have the hardware players where, it's a very strong niche. You have the NVIDIAs of the world, the somewhat even Apples of the world that they create the hardware components. And also you have the platform players, the Amazons of the world, the Microsofts of the world, even the OpenAIs of the world that they provide all of these infrastructures for the developers. The reality is that all of this, just to throw away a couple of numbers, training a large language model costs hundreds of millions of dollars. So, you're in for the run with the big guys if you're trying to compete in the hardware and platform place. But the AI apps world is a place that, between now and 2030, we're expecting a 20x growth in terms of AI apps. And we have a lot of experience at Globant that creating applications for concrete use cases in order to, improve what we can do and not remove the human in the middle, but elevate it and increase its creativity. For the ones that they come from a testing background, and I don't want to get too geeky, but, and it's almost lunchtime, so I want to make sure that you don't fall asleep. If you want to talk more, we can show you a little bit of jamon in our Globant booth. But what's really changing in the QA world is going from a deterministic, when I'm testing something, I want to make sure that something is true or false. Is there something passing or not? That has been the things that all of us will learn at school, right? Now, in reality, now there's a possibility with combining with what we call probabilistic models. There's a chance that there's something going on here. And all of you, if you're chatting with ChatGPT, whenever you're engaging into a conversation, the machine is not really intelligent. It's making inference and it's making understanding of what you're supposed to be expecting in a certain moment. And they say that the devil is in the details. To me, really, the phrase should be the light is in the details. I believe that nowadays there's a new paradigm, and if we're able to combine both approaches of, the true, false, and all of the things that took us here with all of these new tools, we're able to expand the realm of possibilities of what can be done. And, if you're a business owner, please demand your companies and demand your technologies, either if it is someone in your internal place or if it is a Globant, demand them for them to meet you where you're at. Technology should be a tool, and we shouldn't educate you on academics on where you're at. We should meet your business where you're at. Because, if you really think about it, when we're speaking of what can be done from a quality engineering world, one, we want to increase the team's productivity. I have an anecdote that if you want to learn more, in the interest of time, I'm happy to share it later. Disney, which is one of our largest customers, was spending about 400 to 500 hours in order to test all of the experience of DisneyWorld.com and Disneyland.com. And by leveraging MagnifAI, which selfishly, that's the business that I own, we were able to improve that. That was taking all of these creators at Disney about 6 weeks and automate that completely. really, from a business point of view, if you leverage AI, you should be expecting to optimize your testing investment and boost customer productivity. Even if you're building something that is internal, if it is an application that is not really pleasing one, I'm not going to use it. I don't care if it is an internal one. But also the reality is that all of us, in one way or another, we're creators. And in reality, what we want is to be able to do more with less. We want to improve what we're able to do. We want to enhance productivity. And in terms of the software engineering space and in the quality engineering space, which is my space, we want to make sure that, first of all, you're able to remove all of these accidental complexities and also elevate. There's some people that they don't know yet how to code. You may have a manual tester. And by leveraging products like ours with generative AI, you can teach your people how to code. You can make them sure that they can improve their automation coverage. Now, last but not least, and I'm going to share with you, some use cases of things that are possible, things that you should be demanding technologies today. If you're a software company or if you're a technologist, come talk to me. I can bring you ideas, and, we can chat in terms of all of these use cases. You can leverage computer vision for visual validations and understand that things are looking how you're expecting to. We're making a lot of progress in terms of autonomous testing. If you give me a URL, I'm able to let you know what's wrong with it for the most part. We're able to also understand even code coverage analysis, bug predictions, and the possibilities are endless in terms of the things that you can do with artificial intelligence for the enterprise. This is not a toy. This is for the largest companies in the world, right? And for business owners and technologists like yours. Now, in the interest of time, and I know that we're kind of a little bit behind schedule, I think. So I want to share with you a couple of thoughts. The first one is you want to make sure that errors don't drive your customers away. Quality assurance can leverage artificial intelligence today, and by leveraging artificial intelligence, you're able to expand your team productivity, work smarter and not harder, and make sure that you can elevate and do what the Apples of the world and the Disneys of the world are working, some of them partnering with companies like ours. And on the second side, more from a selfish point of view, remember that I started this anecdote that when I was about 10, in 98, 97, that I knew a little bit of how to code. I was very curious. I started with this rectangle, this AR, that I was chatting with my friends, and I was not there, and I didn't know what was artificial intelligence, a cell phone, the iPhone, and AR. But I believe that these are the type of technologies that can make the Nahuels, the little Nahuels of the world's dreams make reality, and people are paying for that, and your business should take accountability of that. There's a phrase of, will artificial intelligence replace any of us? I believe that will not happen. The human in the loop needs to be there, but a human using AI may replace you. So, if you want to learn more, happy to chat, and thank you for the opportunity.